익숙해 보이지만 볼 때 노는 여자 이때가 싶으면 뭐
你好, my ninjas, what up? Have a nice day today? Man, it's beautiful, isn't it? Woohoo! Alright. Quick impression. Picasso, thank you. Man, it was my birthday last birthday. And I walked outside and a bird pooped on my head. Hey, what? Now, a lot of people say that it's good luck. And it was good luck because we've broken up now. On my head on my birthday, what am I, German? Speaking of Germans, how do Italians communicate with the afterlife? Luigi boards. Thank you. All right, make some noise if you like Vietnamese food. Vietnamese restaurants getting quite popular nowadays. Every man and his dog's going to them. How you know when you're in a Vietnamese restaurant?
No dog.
There's a sign that says, no dogs allowed to leave. My mum always said to me, Hung, because that's my name, goes, Hung, stop playing with your food. And I go, why? You used to play with me. Virgin Blue is letting you sit next to your dog on the plane. That's great, isn't it? I'm never going to complain about airline food again. Disney, I'm going to keep going. Disney is making a Vietnamese version of Wizard of Oz. So there will be Dorothy and Toto. They'll be walking around the yellow brick road in Ho Chi Minh City, and Dorothy will be going, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, Toto. Toto? How do you know when the Vietnamese guys rob your house? Your dog's got all your homework's done. One more? Okay, if you insist. Cu Chi Tunnels. Who's been to the Cu Chi Tunnels? Yeah? Cu Chi is this village just outside of Saigon that had the carpet just bombed out of it by the Americans during the war. So what the locals thought is that they go and live underground. So they built all these really intricate tunnels, and they had everything down there. They had a school underground, they had a hospital, a casino, everything, right? But what they didn't have was any food, because they couldn't grow anything. How they survived was that before every mealtime, 3 or 4 of these Viet Cong fighters, they would duck down a hole, and they would crawl along in the dark for a while, and they would pop up smack bang right in the middle of the nearest US Army base. And these guys, they would sneak around and would shoot the crap out of everything, make heaps of noise, and then duck down the hole and crawl out, sit there and wait. Then the Americans would wake up, they have no idea what's going on, and they go look for these tunnels. But the openings of these tunnels would be booby trapped. So the soldiers, they wouldn't go down themselves. What they did, they sent dogs down there. Now call me old fashioned, but with a tunnel full of really hungry Vietnamese people, with really sharp chopsticks. That's just like delivering pizza, isn't it? Menu dog. You want the good news or the bad news? Well, the good news, COVID is back. Yeah, so, and the bad news, it's vaccination time for everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, it's vaccination time again. Man, I tell you, when the vaccine business first came in, right, a few years ago, I was very concerned. Like everyone else, I was very concerned about how safe the injections were. So you know what I did? I went to a safe injecting room in Chinatown. What's it called? The 2-minute needle. Yeah. Don't go there. Now I'm MSG positive. You know, in Germany, right, they've got Bluetooth tracking, right? So in Germany, if you test positive for the Wuhan wet market backsoot disease, you have to put your details into this app, right? And everybody in Germany, they have a mobile phone and their Bluetooth is on all the time. So if you're positive and you're mingling among people, other people's phones will ping and their phones will look for you. Hey, they go ping, 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 ping. They go, that's him, that's him. And everyone go, ah, and they run away. You see, in Australia, we don't have cutting edge technology like Bluetooth. In Australia, man, we're old school. In Australia, during COVID, people ran away from you because you're Chinese looking. Oh, it happened, man. Man, in Melbourne during lockdown, I used to go to Coles every day for my 1 hour exercise. People would see me and they would grab their children and they would run the opposite direction, going, Kung Flu! He's got the Kung Flu! Like this. Granted, I was walking around Coles eating baby formula straight out of the tin. But, hey, don't judge. In China, oh man, it's brutal. In China, if you're positive and you're not at home hibernating and you're mingling around, you're walking around people, a silent alarm gets tripped and really angry shouting monks jump out of bushes and give you Chinese burns until you buy all their fake Gucci handbags. Oh, it's brutal, man. And you know how I know the COVID's back? Asian people are masking up the bit. That's when you know. When Asian people are masking up, man, something's happening, right? But then I think about it and I think, man, Asian people love wearing the mask. Asian people wear their mask at home. I wear my mask at home. You know why Asian people wear their mask at home? So the parents can finally say, oh, thank God, finally there's a doctor in the house. But there's no doctor, just me wearing a mask, operating on the cat. And the cat doesn't love it, the cat hates me. So, but it's hard times, Violin strings are really expensive. When in Melbourne, people make some noise. Remember when we ran out of toilet paper? Oh man, did you hear about this? Okay, right. So Melbourne, during COVID, we were locked down longer than any other city in the planet, right? 265 days. Melbourne people started going a little bit insane. One day, everybody started hoarding toilet paper, right? Melbourne people just thought, oh man, we're going to go down, we're going down pooey, right? And there were fisticuffs in the supermarket. People, and I'm standing there, I'm watching this, I'm going, oh my God, what's happened to, where's our humanity, Because I got really sick of punching old ladies in the face for dirty paper. So you know what I did? I went to Costco and I got me a Japanese toilet. It's amazing. Everyone should get a Japanese toilet, man. It will save the earth. We're never going to cut down trees and wipe your bum ever again, right? So this toilet, I said, this toilet, oh, it's the best. It had laser beams. So when you do a poo, the laser beam, it sees your poo and perfume. Your shit don't stink. The first time I did a poo on it, I went, oh my God, it's a Chef Chanel. Chanel number 2s. And there was no flash button. There was just a remote control full of Japanese emojis on it. And I don't read Japanese emojis. So I said, oh, bugger it. I'll just close my eyes and I hope for the best. I press this button. Water! Steaming hot water. First time it happened, I cried. I was going, oh, make it stop. Help me, Jesus, make it stop! And then I really got into it. During COVID, I went to the toilet 8 hours a day. Yeah, man, I've never felt so clean, but so dirty at the same time. Hey. I think that's where the Japanese saying, suffer in your jocks comes from. It is. Oh! The weirdest thing happened to my body after the 3rd jab, right? My feet grew an extra size, hey? Yeah, I've been size 10 shoes since high school, right? And now, 40 years later, overnight, boom, size 11. And I thought, whoa, you're beauty. Because you know where the next booster's going to go. Right? Wu-Tang! And Melbourne people, don't go home. Stay on the ship, don't go home. Because I just heard that there's a super bug just raging through Melbourne at the moment. Hey, no, you don't believe? Yeah, I copied it down. I copied it down from the Herald Sun. So obviously it's true. So the superbug, right? It's called shigellosis. Shigellosis is a highly contagious bowel infection that can cause diarrhea, fever, nausea, vomiting, and abdominal in the beginning. Remember that preacher on the YouTube? In the beginning. Man, first time I watched that for an hour. I didn't know it was a loop, hey. I'm sitting there going, you can do it. Abdominal, stomach aches. Why did you just say stomach aches? It is mainly transmitted via the fecal/oral route. I'll say that again. It is mainly transmitted via the What's going on, Melly? Stop it. What are you doing? Who would have thought licking poo's bad for your health, eh? You know, we've got to stop this. We've got to stop this because if we don't stop this, we're going to have to change our slogan. You know, because obviously it's no longer going to be Melbourne, world's most livable city. No, now it's going to be Melbourne, eat shit and die. True. All right, I'll tell you a little bit about myself, okay? I'll tell you a bit about myself. I was born really, really young in a city called Saigon in Vietnam, right? Saigon Sin City, they just call it. Man, sex, drugs, rice paper, rolls, In Saigon, we used to live across the road from the presidential palace, which in the 70s in Vietnam was a very dangerous place to live. But, you know, it wasn't all so bad. Like during the war, man, we still had a maid, we had a chauffeur, a very sniper, you know, right? We had a sniper across the road from our house. And I'll tell you about this dude. Every morning, this dude, he'd wake you up with a couple of rounds on the roof, like this. And then he'd wait for you to go to the toilet and try and make you shark yourself before you get there. No, outrageous behaviour. And so one day my dad decided we should leave Saigon. I don't know what gave me the idea. I think all them Russian tank double parked in our driveway. Man, that has something to do with this, right? So this is the last day of the Vietnam War, April 29, 1975. And we get this phone call. It says you've got 3 hours to leave the country. So quickly we packed our bags, we fed the dog to Granny. We loaded the car, we fanged it down to the Saigon River, and we set off in its old leaking prawn trawler. Man, this boat was leaking so much, the prawns were wearing life jackets. And I'll tell you about this boat, man. On this boat we had no food, there was no water, no karaoke, nothing, right? So we floated around for a couple of days and we were picked up by the American Navy in international waters. And first they took us to the Philippines, to a place called Subic Bay. Right? Now Subic Bay used to be one great big American naval car park situation. Okay? So picture this. 2,000 starving Vietnamese refugees. They put us in this single file, heading towards this food tent. They had this massive tent full of food, right? Guess what they gave us? A cheeseburger and a Pepsi. World's first Happy Meal. And dessert was hot dogs. And we thought, oh, hey, you're beauty. Hot dogs, right? So I'm standing there, I'm looking at mine, and I said to the soldier, I said, mate, this is disgusting. And the guy goes, what's wrong with it? I said, well, in my country, we don't eat this bit of the dog ate. And so the next day they flew us to refugee camps on this tropical island called Guam, right? Now Guam was sort of like Club Med with barbed wire around it. So we were in Guam for about 4 months and then we had a choice of either going to France, Canada or Australia. And we didn't want to go to France because, well, you know, French people live there. And we didn't want to go to Canada because, well, you know, French people live there. And so we picked Australia. And look how far I've come, ladies and gentlemen. Still on the boat. Came here by boat, can't get off the bloody thing. People been to Vietnam, make some noise. Did you eat the egg with the fetus inside? No, what? Man, it's a delicacy. All right, I'll tell you about it. See, in Vietnam, they're usually duck eggs, right? And Vietnamese people don't let them hatch. We wait and we wait and we wait until it's just about to hatch. And that's where all the energy of the universe is just concentrated on this thing, because life is just about to happen. You know, life is the most precious thing in the universe. And Vietnamese people go, boil it. So you boil it and it traps in all this energy, right? And then you crack open the shell, and inside you pull over this little duck fetus going, oh, what has happened? Now there's a Kinder Surprise for you, hey? So obviously bird flu's back. I've got a cure for bird flu, hey, don't tell anyone. I went back to Vietnam, caught bird flu. I took 2 cats, gone. Cats got bird flu now, right? Vietnamese people freaking out. They go, what are we going to put into banh mi now? Who likes banh mi? Yeah. You know the Vietnamese pork rolls? You heard of them? Very popular in Australia. But you know, it's not pronounced banh mi. You know that. A lot of people say, it's pronounced banh mi. Can you hear the difference? Say banh mi. Banh mi, translated, means bread. Banh mi, how other people say it, in Vietnamese, it means spread your noodle. What about the pho? Who likes eating the pho? You know, it's not pronounced pho. You know that. You know the Vietnamese noodle soup? Yeah, it's pronounced phở bò. Can you say phở bò? So phở bò, translated, means beef noodle soup. But a lot of people call it pho bo. Now, pho bo in Vietnamese means, where's the toilet? I'm telling you this. I don't have to tell you this. You know, there's no skin off my dong, right? And I'm telling you this because I'm sick of seeing, influencers gallivanting around Vietnam with their selfie sticks going, pho bo banh mi, where's the toilet? Spread my noodle. It ain't gonna end well for you, And that's where the ancient Vietnamese proverb, suffering your jocks, comes from. All right, this one's for the history lovers out there. Okay. In ancient China, right, when the Mongolian hordes were cutting its way through Asia on their way to Europe to Brexit the European Union, they had to go through the kingdom of China, right? And China didn't want to let them through. So Emperor Nasi Goreng, he built this really grouse wall. You may have heard of it, the really grouse wall of China. Yeah. And Mexico paid for it. I don't know how that happened. So to defend the really grouse wall of China, what the Emperor Nasi Goreng did, he recruited all the Buddhist monks and all the Shaolin monks in the country. Now the hardest Shaolin monks in the country at the time was this band called the Wu-Tang Clan, right? From the Chicken Chow Mein Temple. Now the Wu-Tang Clan from the Chicken Chow Mein Temple, there were like thousands and thousands of Chinese boys, really tough Chinese boys, learning Kung Fu and Buddhism. Now one of the main pillars of Buddhism is that you have to rid yourself of all desires of the flesh. But they're just Chinese boys, they're boys, right? And all their desire is flesh. So to beat it out of them, what happens is that every night before sleepy time, Emperor Nasi Goreng, he would tie a little bell around, Mr. Sleepy, right? And then they'd go to sleep. And in the middle of the night, for some reason, if Mr. Sleepy turns into Mr. Happy, it'd ring the bell, right? Go ding, 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 ding. That's where the term ding-ling comes from. Go ding, 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 ding. And then you wake up and you have to stop the ringing. Now the best way to stop your ding ding from ringing, so with one hand, you grab Mr. Happy, and with your other hand, you grab the head of Mr. Happy, and you give it a Chinese burn on it. Straight away, it turns into Mr. Grumpy. And good for hiccups. And that's where the ancient Chinese proverb, suffering your jocks, come from. First time I was in Thailand, my dad used to have this huge scar down here, right? When I was 5 years old, I asked him, Dad, what is this? What is this horrible thing? And this is what he said. I was 5 years old, right? He goes, that's where I gave birth to you. You're 5 years old, you believe everything your dad says, right? I go, what? How, Dad, how? He goes, well, I carried you for 6 months, 9 months, right? And when you were ready, the doctor, he cut it down here and he delivered you. So from then on, every time someone asks me where I was born, I go, Thailand. First time I was in Thailand, I went for a foot massage, hey? Right, went in, right? Check this out, right? So I went for a foot massage. And right on your big toe, there's a pressure point, right? And this woman, she found it. Every time she pressed it, I farted, hey? It's true, man. Every time she went press, and she thought it was hilarious. She got all her friends around, and she go, oh, watch this, I've got total control of this guy's bum hole. And I said, man, I had to beg her to stop. Hey, I go, please stop, I've just had a huge shish kebab meal. And does she stop? No! She pressed it one more time, so I lit a match and burnt off all her eyebrows. I warned her, fool around and find out. Right? Anyway, so I think that's where the ancient Thailand word, suffering your jocks. So suffice to say, no happy ending. You know who else didn't have a happy ending? Captain Cook. Remember him? Australia's second most famous boat person. Yeah, well, it goes under Captain Cook, right? So in the year 1700 and whatever, 88, after Captain Cook invented Australia, right? He decided to take his whole crew on holiday. Fair enough, well deserved, I suppose, right? So he took his whole crew and they went to the Hawaiian Islands. And when he got there, he changed their name to the Sandwich Islands after the 4th Earl of Sandwich, who was Captain Cook's biggest sponsor, right? So he changed their name. So the local Hawaiian people, they got wind of this and said, oh man, that's not going to happen. So they decided to confront Captain Cook. So they went down the beach and went, yo, Captain Cook, listen mate, first thing, you can't park here, right? And second thing, change the name back. Sandwich is a stupid name, change it back. And Captain Cook goes, no, make me. So they club him to death, right? And that's where the club sandwich comes from. It's true. And to make sure he doesn't do it again, you know what they did? They took his sword and they stabbed him right in the guts, right? So that's why every time you get a club sandwich, there's a little sword in there, hey! All right. This one's for the oldies. What's Captain Cook and Scott Morrison have in common? Yeah, shouldn't have gone to Hawaii, really. Right? All right. A few years ago, I went to Tamworth, right? Anybody here from Tamworth? Oh, right. So I went to Tamworth, right? If you don't know Tamworth, they've got that little ding, the country and western music, redneck music festival. And I went there one year because Pauline Hanson was in town, right? And I really wanted to meet Pauline Hanson. I just wanted to ask her why she hates me so much, right? So I went to Tamworth, man, I got there and I had no money left because it's a long way from Melbourne to Tamworth. And I got there, I had no money, no gigs, nowhere to stay, no food. And I go, oh, crikey, what do I do now? So I said, bugger it, I'll go look for the biggest redneck pub in Tamworth. So I went to this pub. Picture this, right? Midday, 40 degrees outside. I'm going to this pub and it was full of cowboy hats and rednecks, right? So I went up to the publican and I go, excuse me, sir, do you mind if I get on stage and do a bit of a show and pass a hat around? I've got no money. The publican goes, I bloody dare you. I go, mate, don't dare me, I'd do it, right? So I walked on stage, I had my ukulele, right? I walked on stage and it was like a moonshine mosh pit, right? And I walked on stage and I went, ni howdy, partner. My name is Uncle Holdown. And today I'm going to sing for you some country and Eastern music. And they start to freak out, right? And I go, you don't know country Eastern? Okay, come. I sing you a country Eastern song. I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. Hello, is it me you're looking for? I robbed you wrong time. I was telling jokes like this. What do you call an Arab country and Western singer? Salim Dusty. So I went looking for Pauline Hanson, right? Because my name's Hung, okay? And in Vietnamese, it's pronounced Hung, right? But the Chinese people, they call me Hung. Because Chinese people can't pronounce Hung. You know, Hung is an old Mongolian word, and it goes all the way back to Genghis Khan, right? Hung is an old Mongolian word, and it means bastard son of redhead European. So when I saw Pauline Hanson, I just went up and went, Mum! Thank you very much. My name's Huntley. Have a great night. See you later.
Right, so please give it up for Huntley!